Welcome to the Filipino American Woman Project podcast show, brought to you by our family on biasboba.com.
We're your co-hosts, Jen Amos
and Nani Dominguez-Smith.
After 3 seasons of sharing stories for Pinays by Pinays, we've gained the knowledge and language to articulate our experiences, and now we're ready to tell our own.
As we venture off into the world of business partnership, we want to bring you along for the ride.
Keep listening to hear how we explore our Pinay identities together as podcasters, content creators, and entrepreneurs.
Now, let's get into the show.
Okay, awesome. Hi, Nani.
Hey there.
I'm so
Long
happy to
time
be talking
no
to you
talk.
still. I know, it's been like a minute. That's way too long. A minute has been
like
way
a
too
minute
long.
and 26 seconds. How did we survive?
I was like holding my breath. I couldn't hold it any longer. Too long. 30 seconds is too long.
Alas, now we're here.
Yes, now we're here. And the reason why we're doing this is because this is our official trailer for, oh my goodness, season 4 of the TFAW Project. Could you believe? Here we are, we wrapped up, quote unquote, season 3 at the end of Filipino American History Month in October. And then, we were fortunate to release bonus episodes sort of like once a month, every month after that, mainly because we just weren't ready to start a new season. We both individually needed some time to get established with our new normals. Me at the time, I was going through a lot. And of course, you were a new mom. So yeah, I'm just excited that we both felt like it was time to kick off season 4. And we've talked extensively about this, and we'll get into more details later. But Nani, opening thoughts about kicking off season 4 of the TFAW Project.
Yeah, I just think that we're in such a different headspace now than we were when we decided to take a pause, which we've now evolved into, new plans.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be getting into that as time goes on with you guys. But I think the last time we were regularly recording, Jen and I were both in just really scattered places, mentally, physically, all of the above.
Everything.
And so now, almost a year later, the dust has kind of settled, and I think we have a better handle on just being able to find the time to sit down and record. And we also have a lot more clarity and direction on where we want to take this and what we want to do with this project when we talk about long-term goals. So in the short term, it's been amazing to do what we've done. And sometimes I think wow, we've done 3 seasons already. What have we even been talking about for the last couple of years? And then I see, I get on Instagram or I get on the internet and I see Filipinos talking about all kinds of things that we didn't used to openly talk about, on social media, in rooms of people, with our families, with our friends. And then I remember, oh, these are the things we've been talking about. This is what we've been doing. We've been normalizing these conversations. And now look, our community is thriving.
Yeah.
It's blossoming, it's developing. And so we need to also blossom the project accordingly, to match our community's fly. So
yes.
Yeah, we again have big plans. And I know you guys probably hate when we say that because you're like, okay, what are the plans?
What are they?
But yes, that's what we're here to tease for you today.
Yes. I love how you gave a summary of, where our headspace was at last year because, at the time of this recording, we're in mid-August. A year ago, I was in Palm Springs, partly because I had no idea that Scott and I were going to be given our 30-day notice to move out of the house we had lived in for 2.5 years.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean, I get it as renters, that could happen, but this landlord he rented out this place for a decade. So we're kind of oh, it's probably going to keep going. We're going to stay here. And so we were really thrown in for a loop. It was announced in the end of June. And then July was all spent on trying to put stuff in storage and figure out where we're going to live. And, around that time, the real estate market was really awful for new buyers. It was really expensive to buy homes last year. And so we're living out of Airbnbs for a couple of months. And I mean, the good thing out of it is that I do have a cat now. I'm a first-time cat mom, which is a conversation for later. on Chismes with Jen and Nani. And that has part to do with living out of one of these random Airbnbs. But I wasn't in a good headspace, Nani. Like, even though I was really good at being very like career focused, even though on paper, like a lot of things were going my way last year, behind the scenes, I was emotionally crumbling. And I think part of like me working through that was staying purposeful and focusing on my projects and the communities that were, you know, growing from those projects. And I'm just really grateful that, you know, this show and co-hosting with you has really helped me, you know, through those times. But either way, I would not go through that again, Nani. I'm very happy with where I currently am in life. And I'm just counting my blessings right now. And I'm extremely grateful that you and I are both in the headspace. We really gave ourselves the time to, like you said, kind of let the dust settle and really feel settled in our current normals, to really reflect on like the direction of the show and reflect on our working relationship together, to finally have a teaser for y'all for season 4.
Yes. So some changes that you will notice when we start posting new episodes again is that we will not be sticking to our traditional interview format and same kind of signature interview questions that we used to ask every single guest.
Mm-hmm.
It will be a more co-host centric show. So it will be Jen and I sharing, just kind of opening up to you guys and bringing you along the ride on our journey into entrepreneurship.
Yes.
And Ate Jen can expand on whatever kind of details we're going to share about that right now.
Yes. Yeah. So hopefully you didn't skip the intro to this, because I imagine that, you know, for me, when I listen to a podcast and I hear the same intro over and over again, I tend to skip it. So if you did skip the intro, I highly recommend that you go back to the very beginning, because Nani and I recorded a whole new introduction, a new intro and outro for season 4 of the TFAW Project. So first and foremost, as we mentioned in the intro, if you listen to it, Nani and I have expressed that we learned a lot from the interviews we have done in the last 3 years, goodness gracious. And, you know, not just on the TFAW Project, but even the continued conversations that we had on Chismes with Jen and Nani. And I think that because we started to like feel settled in with our community, there was a part of us, or at least me specifically, where I was like, as much as I want to interview new people, I think I want to focus on, you know, deepening the relationships that we already have with people. I mean, we have so much traction already in our newsletter community, our Discord community, and even our biasboba.com member and supporters. Like, we have gotten busy in the best way possible. Like, I think that you and I are definitely in that headspace now where it's like, I want to focus on community building as is one of our pillars. And it's been great. So yeah, that's kind of like I think the first part of the reflection process, or reflection part, that I wanted to elaborate on.
Yeah, I mean, I think that we all stand a lesson to learn, or at least a lot of the people that have been on our show.
Sorry, it's just hilarious.
Sorry, he's making this a little difficult, but
Love you,
something
hero.
that we have struggled with, you know, in our own personal journeys that we will open up more about as we go into season 4 is like expanding on that imposter syndrome and really like considering the work that we do here valuable in a way that like we feel comfortable asking people to pay for it, or creating services out of our storytelling abilities and interview skills into services that we can offer individuals that are looking to amplify their stories, I guess I should say. So yes, that's what I'll say about that.
Yeah. So we hinted that part of what we want to do now is, like Nani said, is be more co-host centric when we do the show. I think we're in a space now where we both feel confident in inviting you along in our journey as podcasters, content creators, and entrepreneurs. So podcasters, you know, you have known Nani and I as podcasters for the last 3 years. And part of what came of our podcasting experience, it has been working with clients on the side, and also like being content creators. You know, Nani, you're a blogger, and then I myself create content for the work I do with Scott. And then even with other projects, like being able to put content, rather than be a content consumer, we are content creators. And then the third piece of that, as we mentioned in the introduction, is entrepreneurs. Now, what does that mean? Well, without giving too much details just yet, because we always love teasing you all, and, you know, low key, we're still trying to flesh out the details. Nani and I have intentionally decided after 3 years of co-hosting together to really declare being business partners. And so we actually together have decided that we're going to be creating a new business together. And we do have a name for it already. And I'm not going to share it just yet because I want to make sure it's like all set up for you all. But we believe that this business is a huge thank you to all of you who have been part of our business and a part of the feedback and the love and community that you've given us. We have been paying close attention to how we've impacted you, how the show has impacted you. And we realize, just like what Nani said, that we believe that it's time we see our monetary value and actually create a business structure around it. And we hope that you join us along for the ride and support us, whether it's just continuing to listen to the show or actually helping us along with the journey of entrepreneurship together. I will share that it's interesting because what I love about pursuing this with Nani now is I think about who I was in my 20s and when I did run a social media agency by myself and I would just contract people. It was hard. It was hard because I was basically the primary decision maker and I didn't have anyone to lean against. And my first experience of really leaning against someone was my husband, Scott, and us being in business together even till this day. And so now that Nani and I have chosen to work together, I'm just really grateful. And also, I have to say this out loud, Nani, it's there's a part of me that even feels like I have an imposter syndrome, feeling like I deserve to be having someone like you, and I feel like that should be a huge compliment to you. But yeah, it's just kind of oh, okay, I can rely on Nani. Nani wants me to rely on her. Nani wants me to work with her. And so it's going to be this very interesting thing to navigate. And you're going to all hear it here on the TFAW Project.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel the same way. It's the reason I've never gone after any kind of career goals or entrepreneurship for myself is also, I don't have someone else to lean on. I don't want to do it by myself,
Yeah.
One of the ways that I identify as Filipino is that everything I do, I like to do family style, including working. So for me, if the work is not fun or fulfilling or filling some kind of void for me or contributing to some kind of cathartic process, then I don't want to do it. And so the fact that we've shared this journey together so far, this close, intimate, very, very unique kind of relationship together on both of our journeys, but also together with each other on each other's journeys. I just think that it only makes sense. It's only sensical as our next step to create something for ourselves and to do it together.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And I love how we both we're but I don't want to do it alone. It's I need you. And that's not codependent, y'all. I think let's just clarify. I don't think we have a codependent relationship. I think we're very healthy with our, emotional boundaries and communicating. But, and that's really what I'm trying to grow out of is learning how to be interdependent as opposed to codependent. And so I love how
that should be the title of this episode.
Yeah. Okay.
Love
noted. And yeah, I think learning that it's okay to ask for help and learning that oh, I can ask for help because I know that Nani sees value in it. And also she values me and wants to support me and, vice versa. So we're really excited, y'all. Although we kind of had a script for this, we really didn't. And that's really what we hope to continue moving forward is bringing you along our journey and what it's like to work together. I do want to mention that although we are not intentionally doing interviews on this show anymore, there may be opportunities for Chismes with Jen and Nani, which is our private podcast show on biasboba.com. So everything that we're doing on there still goes. We still have our monthly book club, which we just recorded, Nani, and other opportunities. So just know the spirit of the TFAW Project in a way is kind of transferring to TJN. But now, we hope that at least with this particular season, you all will be interested in hearing our journey together in regards to the work we do together, podcasting, content creating, and entrepreneurship. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's the teaser we're going to leave for today, Nani. And of course, to our listeners, if you have any questions, you could always reach out to us via text 415-484-8329. We do have a free online Discord community in which you can join today. We'll have that in the show notes. Actually, I realize I'm already saying the outro that we were already recorded.
Just keep listening to find out how you can connect with us after this episode.
Yeah, what Nani said. But yeah, Nani, any closing thoughts to our listeners? And my last thought is, thank you for sticking around. Thank you all for being part of this journey. Thank you for staying subscribed to our podcast, because you're going to hear a whole different side of Jen and Nani.
Yeah. And you're going to hear that side, that new side of us. That's also new to us, that we're exploring for ourselves. Sorry. Yeah, so this is probably drowning out everything I'm saying.
No, it's fine. I heard exactly what you said. Yes, we're doing a reality show on a podcast. It's basically what we're doing together. But all that being said, we love you all. Thank you for having been part of our journey for so many years. And to the new folk, y'all in for a treat. And that's it. We'll leave it at that. Have a great weekend. We love you all. And we look forward to chatting it up with you in season 4 of the TFAW Project.
Yeah, we'll see you soon.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye. Thank you for listening to the Filipino American Woman Project podcast show.
Do you want to continue to be part of the conversation? Then join our Discord community for free today. Check out the link in the show notes to join us now.
And don't forget to subscribe to our weekly newsletter for the latest show updates and episode releases. The link is also available in the show notes.
Lastly, if you wish to support us on our journey, consider showing us some love on biasboba.com.
That's all for now. Chat with you next time.
Yay!